of these people, and to me, they failed woefully. They failed because what had been happening is still happening. And Mr. Speaker, I don't think anybody else would have done it better than the military, the armed forces. And here we are, repeating what had been said over a time. Now, Mr. Speaker, I think, in my own wisdom or in my own way, that these military personnel or the service chiefs, their hands appear so full that they engage in some other things other than the duty they are asked to do. There is infiltration in this angle. If there are no infiltration, how is it that there are leakages of information where this and this are? So, Mr. Speaker, I think something has to be done in the area of this infiltration. The military has to be looked into more inwardly to see what is happening.
Use your mic. Your mic is off. Your mic is off.
That this beautiful idea he has brought will not be relinquished to the background. They are talking of removing security from VIPs. Somebody said we are part of VIPs. I don't know to what extent or the level that has to be done. I think if that is done the way it should be done, there's going to be more escalation of insecurity here and there. So that has also to be looked into. Now, we see not long ago, the police are on protest, the retired personnel in the police. To what extent has government looked into their case? And these people in the police, they will be thinking that by the time they retire, their case is going to be the same. So they are no more with their mind doing the job. Some of these areas has to be properly looked into so that anybody serving in that capacity will know that at the end, their benefit, retirement benefit, will be given to them, and not at the end. They will be whiling, going here and there, trying to cry for what is due to them.
Time up. Time up, sir.
Again, Mr. Speaker, I think the border has to be looked into. All the borders, some of these arms that are being brought in comes through the border. The custom will not say that they don't know how they come. All these areas should be looked into, Mr. Speaker. I rest my case. Thank you.
Honorable Mark Hussaini. Can we have Adewale Marufu? Adewale Marufu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Dr. Abdulmaruf Adewale Adebayo. I speak for and on behalf of the good people of Irekpodun Rolu, Oloruda, Osogbo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I want to sincerely appreciate the opportunity given to lend my voice into the lingering insecurity problem and challenges that we have been facing here in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, there is no gainsaying that Nigeria is facing a lot of security challenges, ranging from terrorism to banditry and secessionist agitation. One of the solutions is for us to have a National Assembly Summit. The National Assembly Summit will help us to cross-fertilize ideas with key critical stakeholders to be drawn from various sectors. It's an avenue, sir, to review existing and current previous policy yet to be assented to by Mr. President. The summit will show Nigerians and the entire world our sincere commitment and our concern towards having relative peace in Nigeria and beyond. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, you will all recall early this year, February to be precise, when the US Congressman Scott Perry accused Nigeria of using US aid to fund Boko Haram. That was the beginning of the latest accusation by the US government, tagging us as a country of particular concern. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate Mr. President being consent to our clamor for the state policing, but a little amendment is for us to add. One, there is need for us to have state and local commandants with security experience. We recall that Prime Minister of Old Western Region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo of the blessed memory, was the father of state and community policing. He advocated for it during his lifetime. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, what goes around comes around. Our security challenges does not start today. It was orchestrated by we, political class, when agitating for power. We go extra miles in making sure we succeed. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues,
30 seconds
the
more,
majority
Honorable Adebayo,
of
30
political
seconds.
office holder, Mr. Speaker, here in Nigeria and Africa, till today, we are beneficiary of all political fraud and all acts of violence during election. Without missing word, Mr. Speaker, and without waste much of our time, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, out of the 5 proposed bills, permit me to state unequivocally that there is a need for this People's Parliament to enact a bill to establish a special court.
Time up, please.
Sir,
Mr.
Speaker, to establish a special court for terrorism, kidnapping, and banditry. All forms of insecurity-related offenses for us to have a peaceful country. Thank you so much. I so submit.
Thank you very much. Honorable Osman Zana. Honorable Zana. Honorable Zana is not here. Honorable Wale Raj. Honorable Obon Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Get ready.
My name is Wale Raji. I represent a peripheral constituency of Lagos State. First, the previous speakers have spoken, and issues on security situation in the country have been well discussed and recommendations made, and will not, therefore, not repeat what they have said. But I need to commend the federal government, Mr. President, for some of the actions that have been taken, towards addressing the situation. And in particular, the directive for the recruitment of additional personnel into the Nigerian police force and the Nigerian army. But I would want to suggest that apart from recruiting fresh hands, we should consider extension of service for retiring officers, provided they are certified fit, medically fit to continue. And my reason is simple, that the new recruits, they will go through training and it takes some time. But we can take advantage of the experienced hands. We can give them extension of service, and this can be taken care of, provided for within the public service rules. So maybe a period of 5 years or 2 or 4 years, so that the new ones will, take time to train on the job, and it will enhance their efficiency at the end of the day. The other suggestion, some of my colleagues have mentioned this earlier, and that is establishment of special court or tribunal to try banditry and terrorism-related offenses. I will recommend that the investigation must be speedy and the conviction must, and punishment must be prompt, such that within 6 months, we can do away with
30 seconds
the
more,
process,
Honorable Raji,
with the
30
process of
seconds.
investigation and conviction. So this will send a message to
Give him 1 minute more, please.
to the criminals. And lastly, issue of police, state police. I want to urge this House to fast track the legislative process of amending the Constitution to make this a reality. And finally, we should integrate the local government into the security architecture in the country. I'm stating this, I'm making this recommendation based on experience. In my local government and some others, in Lagos State, we have such security arrangement. In my own local government, it is called Ibile. And they have been very, very useful in investigating local crimes and prosecution, and that has been successful. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Wonderful contribution, I must say. Though personal, but rich in content. A good idea of extending the time for those who are supposed to retire. Even to look at some of the people who were retired because the other class got promoted, to take over. There could be a special arrangement where that training that they have received, the experience, will not be wasted. A special force that might be, headed by this group of energetic, still fit military officers who left because of maybe political appointment. It's a very thought-provoking suggestion that you just made. I hope that we'll dissect it more and come up with something in our resolution. I want to thank you for activating this line of thoughts. Thanks a lot. The next is Honorable Lobong Paul Egbo. Is he here? He's not here. The floor now goes to Honorable Gabachiroma.
Honorable Speaker.
Dennis Abo, Honorable, please get ready.
Honorable Speaker.
Hashimu Adamu Ranga, get ready.
Honorable Speaker, I am Honorable Mohammed Chiroma, representing the good people of Gezawa Gabasa Federal Constituency from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, our earlier contributors have already noted with deep concern the multidimensional security challenges and poverty in Nigeria and call for unity and understanding among diverse religious and ethnic groups to collectively address these challenges. Mr. Speaker, it is also sad to note that the increasing politicization of insecurity and blame game have hindered collective action to tackle the security challenges within our forest ecosystem and ungoverned spaces occupied by criminals and their collaborators. These situations calls for strategic international partnership and cooperation that threatened national security while safeguarding Nigerian sovereignty and territorial integrity. Mr. Speaker, also note weak border security has led to proliferation of small arms and light weapons, allowing criminals to move easily in Nigeria or to enter Nigeria. The impact of climate change and desertification resulting in water scarcity, loss of livelihood, displacement and migration has further aggravated our existing challenges, such as poverty, insecurity, and inadequate infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, in the light of the above challenges, I do hereby recommend the following measures. Proper and timely parliamentarian oversight of these security agencies. When money is appropriated, we need an effective oversight function to see the utilization of these funds. Comprehensive security policy focusing on socio-economic safety, coordinated disarmament program like the late Eradua program that he initiated, is one of the most effective and achievement he has done, and is still visible within Nigeria. A revival of heavy industries to provide employment, even distribution of security operatives and resources. Measures to reduce the general cost of living in the country. Things are very hard for the commoners. Economic diversification and industrialization. Strengthening security agencies, including the police and military, to tackle threats effectively. Enhance inter-security collaboration and intelligence, information sharing to prevent attacks. Reform of the justice system. There has been
go on, 10 minutes more.
There has been
10
very
seconds,
slow justice
sorry.
system in
10
Nigeria.
seconds, 10 seconds more.
Community engagement and involvement in security effort. Deployment of forest guards to secure our forest borders. Mr. Speaker, I do submit these recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Dennis Abo, the floor is yours. Honorable Ranga, get ready. Honorable Maureen Chinwe, get ready. Honorable Salman Idris, AVM Ojuawo, get ready. And Honorable Akinlade, get ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And that will be followed by Communicator Honorable Kalejaye Paul, get ready.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Dennis Nnamdi Agbo. I represent the highly enterprising people of Iboeze North and Udenu Federal Constituency. I'm from Enugu State, Mr. Speaker. Firstly, I want to commend the President of the Federal Republic for a swift and decisive response to the security situation by the emergency declaration read to us this morning. It remains for the declaration to be matched with equally decisive, concrete action. There can be no development without security. All effort to grow the economy to $1 trillion economy is predicated on a secure and stable system. I wish to stress the point that has been made by others, that the ranks of our security services have been infiltrated by unpatriotic, corrupt, and compromised elements now putting on our military uniforms. How else do we explain the multiple cases of ambush against our military, carrying out what should normally be covert operations? The top echelon of our military command needs to be subjected to a comprehensive profiling to ascertain afresh a proper level of loyalty, commitment, and dedication. The de-radicalization and absorption of erstwhile bandits must now follow a stricter protocol. The bandits already absorbed must henceforth wear a tail for now and for a long time to come. Our police manpower must now be raised to a minimum of 200,000 from the present level of 50,000 men. Other security services also need to recruit and put more boots on ground. Mr. Speaker, it is training that converts a civilian citizen to a combatant military and a thoroughbred security operative. Once upon a time, our nation had an excellent security training that was the best in Africa. We must return to this ranking. As we go ahead to recruit more security personnel, we must deliver to the recruits a fit-for-purpose training that will prepare them to confront the extant security challenges. It is cheering that the President has given a tacit approval to the security outfits put together by various states. These outfits should be allowed and assisted to acquire more sophisticated weapons.
15 seconds more, Honorable Dennis, please.
I'll be done. The Parliament should hasten to give the necessary legislative backing to this paradigm shift. Mr. Speaker, at this point in time, we must adopt appropriate technology in the fight against insecurity. If we cannot reinvent the wheel, we must learn from models like the Command and Control Center in Enugu State, where technology has been deployed to fight insecurity with remarkable success. I still submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Ranga, are you here?
Thank
Honorable
you,
Adebayo
Mr.
Balogun, get
Speaker.
ready. Electoral Affairs Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, my name is Honorable Adam Hashim Ranga, a member representing Ningiwarji Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. Your Excellency, Nigeria is battling rising insecurity, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and communal violences. Every nation that has this problem, seriously, the economic growth will be affected, the peace will be affected, as well as the governing of the councils and what have you will also be affected. So therefore, I commend the effort of all honorable members in this House that they listen. Much has been said for the past 2 days on the issue of security. And I know if the legislative would take much on this issue, I know within short possible period, we will resolve the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. My own is just to highlight some recommendations so that I believe the recommendation, as well as how our colleagues have contributed, will even enhance to solve the problem of insecurity. Increase funding and reform of security agencies. Enhance intelligence gathering and coordination. We must also tackle root causes of this insecurity, such as poverty and unemployment. I would like this House to take note that the rate of unemployment in Nigeria is too high. There is a need, even if it means it should be on zonal basis. Let the federal government provide an opportunity to our teeming youth how they will survive. I believe it will greatly help in the insecurity. Then promote justice, dialogue, and community policy. Proactive intervention for any security breach that happen in all levels of administration. I thank Mr. President for the proactive measures he made to ensure that our gas in Kebbi were returned safely, as well as in Kwara, Benue, and some part of the country. So immediately when such happens, proactively we intervene, we will resolve it. Then periodic security sensitization within the scope of work and provide sustainable peace demand and political with strategic investment and national unity. Thank you. I so submit.
Thank you very much. Honorable Adebayo Balogun, give us a perspective, especially with regards to elections.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
As Chairman, Electoral Affairs.
My
3
name
minutes,
is
please.
Honorable Prince Bayo Balogun, member representing Ibeju Lekki Federal Constituency. Today's conversation is particularly important because it concerns the protections of our electoral process and the safety of the men and women who makes election possible across the country. So as the chairman of the House Committee on Electoral Matters, I consider this my duty to present the realities, challenges, and in-depth interventions regarding election security in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, election security is the cornerstone of democracy. When citizen election officials and observers cannot participate safely, the credibility of the entire process is weakened. Sadly, our electoral cycle has increasingly been characterized by violence, intimidation, and disruption that threatens the legitimacy of the outcome and undermine public confidence. It is therefore necessary that we confront this issue with clarity, honesty, and urgency. Mr. Speaker, The vulnerability of INEC ad hoc staff, especially members of the National Youth Service Corps, remains one of the most disturbing aspects of election security. These young Nigerians offer themselves for national service only to face threats, unsafe accommodation, harassment, and in some cases, abduction, physical assault, and gruesome death. In 2011, 10 youth corps members were killed in Bauchi State for serving the country as ad hoc staff during the general election. Many were deployed to volatile areas without adequate protections. The safety of these young men and women must be treated as a national priority. On election day itself, the challenges escalate. Polling units has been attacked, materials hijacked, and collation centers turned into flashpoints. Security agents are overwhelmed, and the deployment across thousands of polling units is uneven. The movement of sensitive materials becomes particularly risky in some areas where infrastructure or ongoing security threats occur. In many instances, minor logistic delay escalates into unrest because of tensions and suspicion among stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, some recommendations are, as we give this, given these realities, it is clear that securing our election
Honorable
process
Prince
requires...
Bayo Balogun, 10 seconds more.
We are talking about election security, so please give us just 1 more minute. Given these realities, it is clear that securing our election requires a coordinated, comprehensive approach. We must strengthen the Interagencies Consultative Committee on Election Security and deepen collaboration among INEC, the police, DSS, civil defense, the military wherever necessary, and other relevant bodies. Intelligence sharing, risk mapping, and early warning system must be improved so that threats can be addressed before it escalates. We must also prioritize the safety of all election workers.
Time up, please.
This includes secure transport, safe accommodation, insurgent mechanism for those deployed on high-risk areas. Traditional rulers, religious leaders, groups, and civil defense must also be integrated into this security network.
Time up, please. Time up.
Finally, Mr. Speaker, we must respond proactively to the dangers proposed by this misinformation and incitement. Clear and timely communication from relevant institutions can prevent panic, reduce speculations, and limit the potential for violence triggered by false narratives. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the integration of our democracy depends on the safety of every election worker, from INEC chairman to the...
Honorable Balogun. That's okay.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to highlight the crisis that we are having in security apparatus, and especially as it concerns the election process moving towards the 2027 election. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Maureen Chinwe. Is Honorable Salman Idris here? All right. Honorable AVM Ojawo Rufus. Honorable Akinlade Abiodun. Honorable Manu Soro. Honorable Gumi. Please get ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm Gwacha Maureen Chinwe, and I represent the good and very hardworking people of Oyi, Ayamelun Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you sincerely for the opportunity to air my opinion on the security situation of our country. Honorable colleagues, bullets alone cannot kill ideology. Bullets alone cannot kill hunger. It is high time we tackle the issue of insecurity. It is high time we tackle the issue of unemployment of our youth in the country. With a teeming youth population and high unemployment rate, we have without intention created a recruitment pool for the criminal elements. When a young man has no job, no hope, and no stake in the society, they become vulnerable to the financial enticement of banditry and extremism. There's a saying that an idle man is the devil's workshop. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the bullets flying in our society today do not recognize political affiliations, do not recognize religion or tribe. As lawmakers, we must legislate prosperity in an environment, we must not legislate prosperity in an environment defined by fear. Let us engage our youths, create jobs for our youths. When the youths are busy, they will no longer have time to engage in banditry. They will no longer be available to be recruited. Honorable colleagues, let us look beyond the symptoms and address the underlying pathologies that fuel the insecurity in Nigeria. I so submit. Thank you.
Thank you for making that fuss. Honorable Salman Idris. Maureen, turn off your microphone.
Thank you.
I am Salman Idris. I speak for Kababunu Ijumu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, I must thank and acknowledge Honorable Raji, who has rendered on the need to create alternative and rewarding engagement for our servicemen after they must have retired in form of a reserve. These are one of the issues I had wanted to speak to. But most importantly, again, Mr. Speaker, you realize that our failing infrastructure, especially that of the road infrastructure, has a direct correlation on our insecurity. In the sense that poor infrastructure, especially road infrastructure, I'm speaking from experience, Mr. Speaker, where I come from, my constituency, Kababunu Ijumu Federal Constituency, you can travel as much as 70, 80, 90 kilometers without a single police post. And as such, when there are security scare or security breaches, you find that the response time to make deployment, before you are able to do this, a lot has happened. And of course, that will be premised on the fact that to reduce the communities, that's the community itself, will have been prepared as a first line. We strengthened our community vigilante groups. This was already enumerated yesterday, I believe, by my dear honorable friend, Cyril Hart. On this note, I would just like to make this recommendation that we declare emergency also on our road infrastructure, especially in security-prone areas, and of which my federal constituency is not an exception. Mr. Speaker, I speak from very valuable experience. I'm an ex-kidnappee myself, and I know what this thing is really about, the experiences of security breaches. When you have been kidnapped, you have been abducted, you know how it feels. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for yielding the floor to me this afternoon.
Thank you. I appreciate you for sticking to time. Honorable Salman Idris, that is discipline and time management skill. AVM. Joao Rufus Adeni, the floor is yours. As one of our elders, Honorable Kinlade Abiodun, prepares.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain here Vice Marshal Joao, retired but not tired. from Ekiti State.
So you are one of those who want to recall.
Thank you very much. I think I'm ready.
You are one of those Honorable Raji was preaching for.
I have that also in my own paper, but Honorable Raji has spoken about it, so I'll let go.
Okay.
That's a good one. Sir, it is obvious that based on our discussion for the past 3 days, we are in agreement that the escalating incident of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and communal crashes, pipeline vandalization, other cyber attack, and violent criminality across the several states of this country, it is not of religious or tribal causes, but they are tactics of insurgents and non-state actors to destabilize this country, to reduce the control, the government control over the people, and over a period of time for what has happened in other countries, to probably take over the country as a whole. We have seen this happening. And I must say this afternoon that I stand here this afternoon to condemn to commend the audacity of our leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, for this action he has taken. If you see my people, sir, the first recommendation I made was for us to declare a national emergency, national security emergency. The president has done that, which is a very first step. And then I will rather suggest that the second step he should take is to have a joint national security operation task force that will combine the armed forces of Nigeria, the police, the DSS, the NSDC, NIA, and other relevant security stakeholders with the clear rules of engagement and accountability mechanism, with established single line of communication, control, and command, so that we have a single line of communication, we know is the top and who is going to direct this. And additionally, I would like the President to direct the Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Interior to conduct a comprehensive security audit of all high-risk regions, report within 30 days, and mandate, and let us mandate, or let the President do something for us. He should appoint a professional security expert as Minister of Defense. And I said that we should seek rapid deployment. He should seek rapid deployment of emergency stabilization intervention in affected community, including humanitarian relief, rehabilitation of displaced persons, and rebuilding the destroyed facilities. The National Assembly, which we are, and the State Assembly should provide legislative backing for emerging and emergency security operations. Where necessary, to fast-track response and enforcement. Sir, my Speaker, our battlefield has changed. Therefore, our doctrine must change. And if our doctrine must change, this will necessitate the amendment to be made to the Constitution, to the Armed Forces Act, and other acts that are relevant to
Only 1 minute is added to your time because of your professionalism.
Thank you very much, sir. Because doctrine and change, this will necessitate the amendment to the Constitution and Armed Forces Act and other relevant security acts, so that we can begin to operate and act in such a way that our operation will be tailored to the kind of battle we are fighting. I will ask the President to call for diplomatic engagement with neighboring countries to enhance border security, joint patrols, and monitor armed trafficking, because this will also stop this menace. Mandate Minister of Finance to adopt the Financial Action Task Force that's been enforced by the World Bank, the style in tracking and disrupting the funds of the insurgents. This has been said, I just want to go over it. Establish a special tribunal to handle cases of kidnapping, banditry, insurgents, sabotage, and subversion. Lastly, we should, in the House, mandate the relevant committees on defense, police affairs, army, navy, air force, and interior, the national security, to monitor compliance.
Thank you very much. Make your submission. Thank you very much.
You can always submit what you have written for us to summarize before the resolution. The floor is now open for Honorable Akinlade Abiodun. Honorable Manusoro, get ready. Honorable Gumi, get ready. Honorable Paul, get ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Right Honorable Akinla Abiodun Isaac is my name. Representing the good people of Yewa South, Ekpokia Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ogun State. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, let me say I concur with almost 90% of the submission of my colleagues since Tuesday. Yesterday, Mr. President announced the recruitment into Nigeria Navy, Nigeria Air Force, the police. Very good development. But we have to look at one thing. The salary and remuneration of these officers is something we have to look at very, very well. Are they properly remunerated? This is one area we have to look at. We have to review the salary and remunerations of the officers that are safeguarding us. That's one. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the National Assembly should summon the security chiefs, the National Assembly, the two chambers, to an executive session to hear from them. In my side of the country, they say that you cannot shave somebody's head in his absence. Let them come and meet us and tell us some things. So before we take a final decision on whatever we want to do. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, our land border, they are just too porous. We have to look into that area also. Because most of these ammunition we are talking about, they come through the land borders. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I'm from Idiroko, that's my constituency, a border town in Ogun State. There's a policy of federal government today that said that all the petrol stations in 20 kilometers to the border town should be closed. This has caused a lot of hardship, pains, and frustration to my people. And I do hand, anything can make use of it. It has really collapsed the socio-economic situation of my area. We are talking about bandit kidnapping. This also, if not taken care of at earnest, it can also lead into that. I want to appeal to my dear colleagues that this issue of closure of petrol stations, 20 kilometers,
10 seconds, 10 seconds more, please.
Thank you very much. Just yesterday, there's a Federal Polytechnic in Laro in my area, now Federal University of Technology. They receive information that the bandits are coming to attack them, whether fake or genuine. I want us to look into this, my dear colleagues.
Time up, please. Time up, Honorable Akinlade. Time up. Time up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Don't be afraid. The security agencies have heard the threats, and they will be there. And just like Mr. President said, anyone who wants to test the resolve of this government, they should understand that they are being quiet does not mean weakness. Any moment from now, such threats will no longer be the order of the day. So don't be afraid. Tell your constituents that the Commander-in-Chief is truly in charge now, and help is coming. Help is coming. The floor is now for Honorable Manusoro.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Mansour Manu Soro, representing the good people of Daros Oganjua Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, the principles of social contract between the government and the people world over requires that the people surrender their freedom and sovereignty to the government in exchange of protection. The Nigerian people, through the instrumentality of the Constitution, which is our ground norm, has surrendered their freedom and sovereignty to the Nigerian state. But, Mr. Speaker, what we are witnessing over the last 10 to 15 years is the failure of the government to perform its own side of the obligation. It is an embarrassment that after 15 years, the Nigerian nation have not been able to defeat Boko Haram insurgency. It is even more unfortunate and embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, that the Nigerian nation has allowed the situation in the Northwest to degenerate. An ordinary farmer header crisis has been allowed, Mr. Speaker, to degenerate, to metamorphose into a full-blown insurgency with the bandits representing the Fulanis and the vigilantes representing the Hausas. It is evident that the centralized command and control security system that we have in Nigeria cannot solve the solution. Something has to give in. Mr. Speaker, we have to decentralize the security command and control system in this country. We have to enable the state, as the President has mentioned yesterday, to see to the creation of state police. Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to allow the service chiefs to also comfortably sit in Abuja while the other part of the nation, while the other part of the country vauns. We need to demand from them that they must go to these areas where terrorism, where insurgency, where kidnapping is taking place. On our part, the National Assembly, we have contributed to the fight against insecurity in Nigeria. Over the last 10 to 15 years, Mr. Speaker, we have provided over 20 trillion naira to the security sector in budgetary appropriations. But yet, the result is more killings and more kidnappings. Security analysts
Honorable 15 seconds, please.
Have informed us that the first form of attack, the best form of defense is to attack. We need to see the military taking the war, taking the battle to the enclaves of these criminals. Mr. Speaker, if they cannot do it, we need to demand the federal executive arm to invite the mercenaries, Mr. Speaker. And if the Federal Executive Council or the Federal Executive arm is not willing,
time up, please.
Is not willing to do it, Mr. Speaker,
time up,
we should
time
invite the ministers to come and tell us what plans do they have to resolve this madness. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so submit.
Thank you, Honorable Gumi. The floor is yours. Honorable Paul, get ready.
Honorable colleagues, I'm Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi.
Honorable Saba Ahmed, get ready. Honorable Bello, get ready. Honorable Victor Buzo, get ready. Honorable Shehu Dalatu, Honorable Danladi Aguirre, get ready.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. I represent the good people of Gumi, Bukuyum Federal Constituency from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, I'll read excerpts from a paper I'm working on titled Pastoral Coexistence to Armed Banditry. This paper seeks to understand the crisis in Zamfara State. So I'll focus on Zamfara State because the solution in Zamfara would radiate to the rest of the country. Approximately 20 years ago, we saw the metamorphosis from stick-wielding criminals called Kwanta Kwanta to organized armed groups involved in an ethnic war with the rest of Nigerians, to now a fully equipped militia fighting our armed forces. The crisis in Zamfara is a product of historic injustice, environmental displacement, and institutional failure, but it is not beyond repair. A dual-track strategy combining firm military action, which I believe the President is taking the right direction on, with inclusive policy reform and integration This offers the best chance for lasting peace. Around the world, countries have overcome similar conflict through a dual strategy: firm military pressure followed by inclusive reforms. Sierra Leone's war ended when sustained military action weakened the RUF and opened space for meaningful disarmament and reintegration. Rwanda rebuilt after genocide by combining security with community truth processes. Colombia achieved peace with FARC only after the state regained military advantage. These lessons are directly relevant to Zamfara State and Nigeria as a whole. A path forward. Through 1, simultaneous policy restructuring and military dominance, structured disarmament, reconciliation, and reintegration, DRR, an evidence-based practice which succeeded in Rwanda. A phased DRR program should follow military operations guided by global standards. This includes justice and compensation for all victims of this violence, disarmament incentives, reconciliation forums, and reintegration infrastructure, which includes grazing reserves, secured land tenure, veterinary clinics, animal services, schools, healthcare, and pastoral modernization skills development. On a final note, the next phase is radicalization of these bandits by ideologues. The government must act decisively not only to restore order, but to rebuild trust, dignity, and opportunity for all communities. Negotiation must never be a sign of weakness. It must be the culmination of strength. Only then can the cycle of violence be broken and a new era of coexistence and development begin in Zamfara and beyond.
Honorable Gumi, 3 seconds.
We should know this artificial surge in violence the past 2 weeks is a reaction of the utterances of the international community. These bandits resolved to kidnapping young children in order to create a shield for protection for themselves. So we should also remind the international community that their utterances have direct impact on young people that are the innocent of such utterances. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for my submission.
Thank you very much. I hope you are not saying we should negotiate with kidnappers and banditry and terrorists. I'm sure that is not what you are saying. But again, opinions here are personal opinions, not the position of the Parliament until the resolution comes.
Mr. Speaker, it's clearly stated we should negotiate, we should show force. Then after show of force, we have to open a window of negotiation. We cannot eradicate all tribes. We have to fight. Then after show of force, then we can open windows for negotiation, and that is the best way forward.
Like we said, it is your personal opinion and not the opinion of the Parliament. We will read it, and it will be a resolution from the House. But all I know is that all over the world, negotiating with terrorists has not yielded any positive result. We have enough force in this country to solve the problem, and that is what the Commander-in-Chief is taking the step forward, and we should encourage him. Honorable Paul, the floor is yours.
The Right Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, I'm Honorable Kalejai Adeboye Paul, PhD. I represent Ajero-Mi Felodun Federal Constituency, the Mini Nigeria. I'm from Lagos State, the state of aquatic splendor. Without much ado, it's important for us to accept the fact that the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has rolled out some basic programs to solve the problems of insurgency. It may not be completely adequate, and that's why we're seated here, to add to some of those ideas. But I tell you, some of the ideas rolled out by the President include, but not limited to, recruitment of more police. Of course, the challenge is about the implementation strategies. And except the implementation strategies are monitored by this House, we may go back to square one. For instance, we all sat here and deliberated extensively on the need for us to decentralize the police academy to all the regions so that we can expand the scope of our training units. As we recruit more police officers, where are they going to be trained? And now they're saying that let's convert some areas to training centers. It's not going to be possible. We must now, what are the implementation strategies of some of our resolutions, of some of our bills that were passed in this House? So I urge that it's time for us to decentralize again, as already adopted by this House, the police academy. And secondly, to also say that it is time for us, yes, the President has equally said we should sit as Parliament and actualize the state police. But the issue of also about the implementation of state police is funding. Except government allocate percentage of the amount, the resources available to states and local government to security issues. We must not allow state and local government to spend the allocations without a specific allocation to local securities and state securities. And in doing this, he has also alluded to the fact that we need to man our forests, recruitment of forest guards. These forest guards that are recruited are going to help us. These bandits, kidnappers come from the forest. So it's important for us to man our forests.
Honorable Dr. Paul, 5
Yes,
seconds. 5 seconds more, please.
Thank you very much. So in conclusion, I submit that this House must set up implementation committees for us to monitor some of those ideas that we have submitted and some of the strategies, some of the programs as enunciated by Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next to speak is Honorable Bello Hassan Shinkafi. Honorable Shinkafi, the floor is yours, and that will be followed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That will be followed by
honorable colleagues.
Excuse me. Honorable Saba Ahmed, get ready. Victor Buzo, get ready. Honorable Bello. Shehu Dahatu, get ready. Dan Ladi Aguye, get ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
As well as Pastor Ojema Ojetu.
My name still remains Honorable Bella Shinkafi, member representing Shinkafi's referral constituency.
Asama, get ready as well.
Mr. Speaker, I am from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, almost 99% of problems and solutions has been offered before this very House. Only one that is yet to be mentioned, which is the issue of Shinkafi Zurmi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, why I have said this, Shinkafi Zurmi Federal Constituency, that is where cattle rustling, kidnapping, banditry emanated from, and then later escalate to the other part of the northern states. Mr. Speaker, Shinkafi Zurmi still remain under the control of the notorious bandits leader known by all of us here, together with his network of armed criminals, has overrun communities, destroyed livelihoods, and subjected innocent citizens to unimaginable and significant hardship. The realities on the ground, Mr. Speaker, out of 21 words in the constituency, only 6 words remain relatively free, and even this operative under coercive agreement involving forced levy payment to bandits. Mr. Speaker, farmers can only access their land with permission from the bandits, and harvesting must also be approved by them. Mr. Speaker, over 160 villages have been abandoned, leaving the residents to live as internally displaced persons. Mr. Speaker, it is our demand or our prayer that we urge the Chief of Defense Staff and Chief of Army Staff to establish a permanent military outpost, that is forward operating base in Magaria. The reason being that Magaria town is strategically positioned to protect surrounding communities and IDP return routes. The permanent military presence will deter attacks and stabilize the constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the people of Shinkafi and Zurbi are not seeking privilege, rather they are pleading
Honorable
for survival.
Shinkafi, 10
they
seconds.
deserve protection, dignity, and the right to live freely in their ancestral home. Mr. Speaker, I so submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Saba here.
Mr. Speaker, the respected colleagues, my name is Honorable Dr. Hamed Adam Musaba. Mr. Speaker, from Kwara State, I represent the people of Edu, Moro, and the Party Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, we all recall that I have stand here in 2 occasions, move motions in respect to banditry and the kidnapping in my federal constituency. I want to appreciate Mr. President, the Speaker of the House, the Governor of my state, for putting necessary measures in order to reduce the attacks in my constituency. Mr. Speaker, the respected colleagues, today I rise with a deep sense of duty and patriotism to speak
Honorable Jimmy, please
on the worsening state of security across our country and the urgent need for decisive national action.
Leader, please approach the chair.
From the
Minority
north
Leader,
to
approach
the
the chair.
south, east to the west, our communities are under
Deputy
siege
Whip, approach the chair.
by the banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, communal conflict, criminal gangs. Innocent citizens are being
Honorable
killed.
Sada Soli, approach the chair.
Innocent citizens are being killed. Farmers are abandoning their farmland. Children are being taken away from their schools, and the entire village are living in fear. As elected representatives of the people, we cannot pretend that these threats are isolated. The crisis is now national, and the suffering is real. Every attack shatters families, destroys livelihood, weakens the foundation of our nation. This is why I strongly support the call for a state of emergency on security by the Mr. President, not as a political slogan, but as a constitutional tool that allow the federal government to take extraordinary measures to protect our people. A state of emergency will enable the rapid development of security forces, foster response to the threats, emergency funding for logistics, and improving intelligence coordination and immediate protection for the vulnerable communities, especially in the rural areas. Mr. Speaker, but let me be clear, a state of emergency must not be a blank check. It must be guided, monitored, and evaluated. The National Assembly has a critical role to ensure accountability, human rights protection, proper use of emergency powers. We, as a representative of the people, must intensify oversight, engage our communities, tracking security outcomes, and ensure that no Nigeria is left behind on silent. Our commitment must be stronger than ever. Nigeria cannot move forward under the shadow of fear. Our farmers must return to their farm. Our children must return to their school and to the classroom. Our community must sleep in peace again. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, I call on all arms of government, security agencies, traditional institutions, and the community leaders to join hands now, not tomorrow, to rescue our nation from this security crisis. Mr. Speaker, respected colleague, the life of our people must come first. The time of our people must come first. The safety must come before politics. Their protection must be guided, must guide every decision we make in this house. Together, with courage and unity, we can restore peace and secure the future of our great nation. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Victor Buzo around. He's not here. So we'll go to Honorable Bello Amburura. Is he around? Amburura. Okay, 3 minutes.
Thank
Honorable
you.
Shehu, get ready. Honorable
Thank
Danladi
you.
Naguya, get ready. Honorable Jafuru Yakubu, get ready. Honorable Daniel Asama, get ready. Honorable Ojema Ojoto, get ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues. I am Bello Isa Ambarura. I speak on behalf of people of Ilela and Godaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise up and also to thank you for giving me the opportunity to contribute immensely to this important aspect of life, that is security situation in my dear country. Mr. Speaker, the issue of insecurity in this country is enormous, which is we have directed from the inception of this chamber in 2023, we have been discussing about repeatedly. However, I wish to categorically mention here that despite that effort of the legislature, solutions have not yet been provided. Of course, Mr. Speaker, security situation in Nigeria is everywhere today, but it is mostly vulnerable in the northern part of the country, mostly in the extreme north of the country like Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina, etc. In Sokoto, Mr. Speaker, today, and particularly my constituency, Ilela Gwadaba Federal Constituency, almost every blazing day, there is a killing, kidnapping, cattle restaurant, and the rest. For example, Mr. Speaker, there's an alarming story that happened recently in my village. A mother and her 2 children were kidnapped. And the kidnappers requested for a ransom of 15 million naira. And only 10,000 naira was able to raise. When this amount was given to the bandit, they say 5,000 naira is to be given for the 3 persons. They say they don't have money, but unfortunately, they say they will release the mother and the second child. The third child, which is 4 months old, they just hold the child like this. The bandits shot the child, just 4 months old, and divided the body into 2. So this is a very sympathetic issue, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in this respect, Let me commend the effort of the government at all levels, but that effort, Mr. Speaker, is being sabotaged. This is not only me that says so. We have heard it from former Chief of Defense Staff. He has mentioned it repeatedly. Some people or some members or VIP in this country are conniving and collaborating with the bandits in this country. In this respect, Mr. Speaker, if this can be heard...
Honorable Barrow, 10 seconds, please.
Thank you. If this can be heard from the caliber of person like Chief of Defense Staff, what else can we do? Therefore, my call or advice is that government should do the meaningful by fishing out those important personalities that were identified so that it will serve as a lesson and also a deterrent to others so that our country will live in peace and regain its integrity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shehu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Engineer Shehu Alhatu Tapoki is my name. I represent Faskari, Kankara Sabwa. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, let me just segment my presentation in 3 ways. Number one, the background and societal impact, the recommendation and conclusion. Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, for more than a decade, my constituency has been hotspot of organized and banditry, mass kidnapping, and large-scale cattle rustling. The pattern combines gangs of motorcycles, use of small arms, as well as periodic occupation of forest enclaves. Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, my constituency is the largest constituency in Katsina State, comprising of 3 local governments, the largest in terms of population, land mass, number of registered voters, as well as number of polling units, Mr. Speaker. And also, Mr. Speaker, my local government is 3 out of the 5 local governments in Katsina State that are major food producers in the state. The 5 are Sabwa, Dandime, Paskari, Danja, and Kankara local government areas. Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, the societal impact, number one is human toll and displacement. Number two, livelihood collapse, as earlier stated. Agriculture and livestock rearing are the backbone of these areas. It has suffered from destroyed cropland, stolen cattle herds, and restricted market access. This reduces household incomes and food security, increases hunger risks, and the dependence on relief materials from the government agencies, education and services, social cohesion and justice deficit. Recommendation, Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues. Number one, protective presence and rapid reaction, humanitarian search and protection. 3, integrated security operation with civilian oversight.
Honorable Chair.
Community-based early warning and
Honorable
local
Chair.
security partnership.
5 seconds, please.
Protection and rapid recovery, infrastructure and economic resilience, pastoral agro-conflict management, justice accountability and reintegration, and governance, trust, and political economy reform. Finally, Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, in conclusion, my constituency, which is Paskarik and Karasabwa, faces a multidimensional security crisis that requires synchronized military governance, humanitarian and development responses. Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, I so submit.
Thank you very much. Can we have Honorable Danladi Aguye?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Danladi Suleiman Aguye.
Honorable Jafaru, get ready.
Member representing the good and very fantastic people of Lokoja, Kogi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kogi State. I also want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Section 14 of Nigerian Constitution, 1999 as amended, stated very clearly that the security and welfare of people are the primary responsibility of any government, which our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing his best, Mr. Speaker. My recommendation is very simple, sir, that there is a need to put more effort to community initiative at local government level through the local government security agencies and in collaboration with our traditional ruler and religious leaders. That is one. Number two, which our state government is also practicing it right away under the executive governor of my dear state, Alhaji Usman Ododo, in collaboration with the local security agencies. Number two recommendation is to, let's recommend to the president, the commander-in-chief, that there should be review of the appointment of the service chief in every 12th calendar month. It's very important, Mr. Speaker, if the security challenges, if there's no improvement. I want to use this opportunity to also appreciate all the head of security agencies in my dear state for their cooperation with our dear governor in tackling the security challenge in our state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity, and thank you, my honorable colleague, for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Jafaru, the floor is yours. Asama, then you follow. Pastor Ojema Ojotu, you follow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is Ngozi Okolie here? Is not here. Is Abdullahi Ahmed here? Not here. So we'll be rounding up with Pascal Abodike. So it's remaining 3 people to speak. 4. Jafaru, Asama Daniel, Ojema, and Pascal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak. I have waited patiently.
Okay, I'm Bello Erufai.
For the 2 legislative days where issues of insecurity being discussed. Today, Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, I rise to bring to your attention a pressing concern that affects us all. My name is Honorable Jafaru Yakubu. I represent the good people of Bali Gasol Federal Constituency in Taraba State that suffered issues of insecurity challenges. Mr. Speaker, because of time factor, I'm going to adopt the positions of most of our leaders that spoke, ranging from regional, state leaders, chairmen of security committees. But I will rush to some of the recommendations. I recommend that the House of Representatives establish a committee to investigate the causes of insecurity and propose solutions, increase funding for the security agencies and community development programs, pass legislations to strengthen security laws and institutions. Mr. Speaker, I will end up with speaking to issues has to do with the morale of our men and officers of the security, more especially the Nigerian police, which is the center stage of the internal security operation. If you can bear me witness, my dear honorable colleagues, recently on Sunday, the service chiefs were before the commander-in-chief, and you can see the position where the Inspector General of Police is seated, where the Chief of Army Staff is seated. Why? Because the police are at the center of the internal security operation. Mr. Speaker, I commend and I say kudos to Mr. President for declaring the state of emergency. State of emergency in recruitment, state of emergency in renovations of our training institutions. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the reward system in the Nigerian police is weak. It's weak in the sense that, well, the military are building more barracks, Mr. Speaker, to boost the morale, to give shelter for their men, to encourage them in fighting insecurity.
Honorable Jafaru.
The Nigerian police
10 seconds,
selling
please.
their barracks.
10 seconds.
They are selling their barracks in the name of PPP. They are selling their barracks in the name of merger or putting a kind of partnership with other estate developers. This is wrong. Mr. Speaker, this House, my dear honorable colleagues, need to caution, need to call on the Nigerian police to copy or to build more barracks instead of selling. Mr. Speaker,
time up, please, Honorable Jafaru. Time up, sir.
You can call for an operational order. An officer that normally resides in Area 11 in Metama, where we have barracks. The barracks are being sold in the name of PPP, and that officer is moved to Nyanya, is moved to Gwagwalada, and you call for that officer to report for an operational order that's supposed to commence by 6 a.m. and
Thank you very much. Honorable Osama Daniel.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Ambassador Daniel Asma, and I represent the people of Bassa Jos North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Plateau State. And we used to say...
Pastor Joe, to get ready. Pascal, get ready.
The home of peace and tourism.
That will be the last.
But we know that I am one of those people that the constituency I represent has suffered so much of this insecurity in this country. I appreciate the voice that most of these colleagues have lended over the past 3 days. However, I am glad that today Mr. President has seen the true sense of what we have been going through, and he has made this executive order. My first bill, Mr. Speaker, in this National Assembly was on security matters in a situation in my constituency, and I asked if the House or the President will implement fully the Police Act by making community policing and state policing come to force. And I'm glad Mr. President has just done that. However, let me say a few recommendations in addendum to what Mr. President had said. Mr. Speaker, we all know that Mr. President means well for this country, but like the governor of KB State always said, or kept saying, what happened and who gave the order that the military withdrew before those kids were abducted? There is a lot of sabotage that we believe that may be happening, and I would insist that this House should also look into doing a thorough investigation and oversight of the military and the paramilitary to make sure that duties are attended to accordingly. Another of my recommendations, Mr. Speaker, is that I believe we have committees that should be doing oversights, and I believe that they have been doing the oversight. But however, I think there should be proper punishment for security breaches when personnel are found wanted. And that should be done in the open to create deterrence so that others who are in that line of duty will know that the government is putting words to action. Again, even in the budget, I know that the military is not having sufficient, but so far we know security has taken the chunk of our appropriation budget. We need to be sure that that money in the budget is put into action, that the equipment that are supposed to be gotten from this budget are thoroughly investigated and this equipment have reached the armed forces. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I believe in expansion and in just to correlate to what the president had done, we should also engage the neighborhood watch. We should also engage all other paramilitary that have been volunteering in trying to keep peace in our communities by arming them appropriately to engage together with the armed forces to just foster. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so submit.
Thanks a lot. Honorable Pastor Ojema Ojeto, please. As Pascal and Verify guest ready.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Pastor Comrade Ojema Ojeto, PhD. I want to inform this House that I represent the good people of Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State. We are the worst hit, affected constituency as far as the issue of insecurity is concerned in this country. Let me commend and appreciate the leadership of the House for dedicating today for us to talk on issue of insecurity, of course, which is actually the talk of time. I also want to quickly say that this is a show of high level of sensitivity to the plight of the people, which of course I know Nigerians watching us doing this would definitely appreciate us for this effort. I want to say clearly that this is the first time in the history, in the recent time, I can see that Nigeria and even the parliament can stand and speak in one voice. And as a pastor, I do know that when people speak with one voice, it comes with a lot of power. And I'm optimistic that with this unity of purpose, those who are behind this ugly trend, they are already in trouble because God too will also be against them. And I also want to speak as a citizen of this country by saying that one of the major issues causing or seems to be encouraging the insecurity in this country is our inability to uphold to the principle of rule of law. And the cardinal point in the principle of rule of law is that every citizen of this country should be treated equally. Nobody should be above the law. The law should treat everybody equally. I can tell you that in this country today, there are some people that seem to be above the law, while some seem to be equal with the law, and so are below the law. I'll give you a typical example. We have a situation in my place where our people suffered constant attack by suspected herdsmen. And when they come, these people have a way of doing this and go scot-free. But we have a situation right now that the youth leader of my community, because this incident is happening, the people also look for a way to protect the community. This young man was sleeping Oloche Salas in his own room. 1 a.m. in the morning, the DSS came, went to the room, arrested him, and took him to an unknown destination. The next time we check, he has lost one of his leg. As I speak with you now, the young man is under the custody of DSS. But in the history of crisis in my place, we have not heard that somebody from the other side has been arrested one day. Then I begin to wonder whether the law is fair to some persons and also unfair to others. You can even hear that bandits will come for negotiation and they will come with their weapon, sophisticated weapon. The only crime they will arrest somebody because unlawful imposition
Pastor
of
Ojema, 30 seconds, please.
Very well, thank you very much. So on this note, I feel very strongly that we must strengthen our law and we must make our law to be above every other person. And I also want to commend Mr. President for the recent pronouncement that that is a prohibition of open grazing. That pronouncement is not enough. I want to urge this House to expedite action to make sure that that law is passed, and not just passed. Instruments should be put in place to ensure that the law is fully executed. And of course, we must take charge of our forests, and we must make sure that anybody that has business to do in the forest should have license, so that at the end of the day, we should seem to be in charge. And very fundamentally too, I also want to say that we should do everything possible to ensure that those people who are behind this scene, I want to believe very talking about here, the people behind this insecurity, they are known. Poor people cannot afford to continue or sponsor insecurity. So those people should be brought to be arrested, should be prosecuted, let Nigeria know, and then people will now learn their lesson. And
please, can they round up?
Thank you, Honorable Pascal, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Pascal Abodike, PhD, representing Ihala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make my contribution on the subject matter, the insecurity in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, with a heavy heart for the people who have lost their lives as a result of a higher insecurity in Nigeria and those in captivity in the camps of all these criminals. And also a heart full of courage that this country will have the wherewithal, we can surmount the challenges we are facing today as a result of a higher insecurity in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, before we can solve a problem, we should first of all identify it. Etymologically, what kind of problem of insecurity are we suffering in Nigeria? Are we suffering from external aggressors or from internal aggressors? Mr. Speaker, it is internal aggressors. Those people are operating within the territories of Nigeria. So, it's been long Nigerians have been clamoring for state policing. It is part of the thing that will solve the problem. When we are being challenged by internal aggressors, it is the sole responsibility of the Nigerian police and our locals. Take for example, when my governor, the present governor of Anambra State, came into power, about 7 local governments in Anambra State were taken over by criminal bandits. But he first of all identified the problem. And today, we have recovered that 7 local governments, which includes my own local government, Ihala. Mr. Speaker, and the whole Nigeria, state police is as important as anything we are seeking for while trying to solve this problem of our security challenges we are facing. He recruited Operation Udogachi. He flagged off Operation Udogachi in Anambra State. Operation Udogachi includes the local vigilantes, the police, the army, and all the uniformed men in Nigeria, in the state. They were a joint task force who came together to face the security challenges we met in Anambra. But it is those locals that know the nooks and crannies of Anambra who led the police and other security agencies to the places, the hideouts of those criminals. Today, we have declared Anambra one of the safest states in Nigeria. So it is possible that we'll solve the problem using our police.
Honorable
and
Pascal,
also extending it
Honorable
to the
Pascal,
states.
5 seconds, please.
So this problem is a challenge that, and also Nigerians should be more patriotic. We should stop attributing negativities to Nigeria. We should love our country. If we come together, we can approach this issue, and it will be a thing of the past. Thank you so much.
Time up, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The final person to speak today is one of the members of the youth in Parliament who was not here when we called him the first time. We'll give him another 3 minutes to round up so that we can close the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mohammed Bello El Rufai. I represent the excellent people of Kaduna North. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I'll try and be as quick as possible. It was a long day and I came late because I was unwell. Let's do this quickly. Short term, the President has rolled out a clear plan that we commend. A lot of my colleagues have rightly spoken about this and I agree. But our problem is not announcing plans. It's executing them with clear timelines. This Parliament must insist upon those timelines based on the President's recommendations. One thing I would like to add, Mr. Speaker, in addition to the recruitment, is the need for us to increase immediately the basic salaries and the welfares of police officers and soldiers, and we must find the money to do that. At present, Nigeria, put it this way, one police officer manages 600 Nigerians. The UN recommends that ratio should be 1 to 400. We are understaffed. The President has tackled that. That's one point in terms of the short-term solution. And I think, sir, you leadership and committee chairman like Honorable Jimmy Benson should keep an eye on this execution. We can't just make announcements. Let's say by February we're about to see X, Y, Z. That will help. In the medium term, sir, there was a conviction recently of a terrorist, Boko Haram. I believe his name is Husseini Ismail. He was convicted for 20 years by a high court. He was a Boko Haram terrorist. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted, I think, last week, and his own conviction said life sentence. I don't understand why one terrorist is getting 20 years and the other is getting a life sentence if you're saying that. I think Pastor made a good point. There's this idea that justice is served differently, and it affects the problem. Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude by saying this. I've been an advocate of state police. I've sought the wisdom of more experienced members like Honorable Sada Soli, Honorable Ado Dogwa, even yourself and the Speaker. I think the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Somebody said that earlier. We cannot be sitting in Abuja and expecting operations to be efficient in Benue. We have to go back to communal policing. You that are older than us, sir, always tell us there was a time when if a guest comes to a community, everybody knows him. We have to get the traditional leaders involved and go back to state policing. This Parliament, under your leadership, and I know the excellent work you're doing in the Constitutional Review Committee, is looking at that. Sir, no time for election talk now. We have to tell the public a timeline to roll this out. The fear that governors will abuse it always shocks me because they already have all that power. I'll finally end by putting myself in trouble as usual. The North has an issue. My honorable sister mentioned why we've become a breeding ground for such things. This is why. We are not sending our children to school. Of late, you have bandits on TikTok holding monies. The younger people, younger than myself, that have no employment and no skill because we've neglected them. It's a failure on all our parts over the years. Mr. Speaker, these young people go on TikTok and see a criminal holding minted cash. He's suddenly exciting. You want to emulate him. Mr. Speaker, we can do whatever we want to do in terms of FDI, IGR, investments, but we are failing in our primary duty, which is to protect the people we serve. We must increase the welfare of police officers. Recruitment should not be by allocation, sir. Each state should provide the exact amount of numbers. It should be digitized. We should look for young Nigerians that want to join the army to serve, not because it's a job that's seen as something else. I'm sorry if I spoke too friendly, Mr. Speaker. We are relying on you and the members of the Constitutional Review Committee to not only follow up with the President's excellent announcement, but to finally roll out state police in this country. I hope I made my point, and I really appreciate the session today. And once again, sorry I came late. Thank you so much.
30 seconds more. You still have another 30 seconds.
Oh, I thought I didn't have time, Mr. Speaker. Fine, with the 30 seconds, let me... Sir? What? No, sir. I think the reason why I spoke like that, Mr. Speaker, is the passion is enough. You said something that I appreciated, and Honorable Benson said something earlier, and I was at fault. Shagai and I were joking about something, and then you said this is not a funny matter. It's not. I also would like to implore all of us here. This is not a time for weddings, for events, as you rightly said, for dinners or public. You know, we should show that.
Time
we
up,
care.
Honorable Rufai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
He finished making his speech. You gave him 10 minutes to redo his speech. All right. That brings us to the closing section of our 3 days engagement. And I want to thank the Parliament for showing dedication, patriotism, consistency. Some of you have sat here for 3 days, and Nigeria is watching. You did not come to the Parliament just to speak and go. You sat here to listen to every conversation, to note every opinion, so that when the resolution comes, you will not be surprised what you see on the resolution, because you were part of the debate. I want to thank you for being a true parliamentarian. And for those who also had other assignments to attend to, I want to thank them for participating in these deliberations. I'm sure Nigeria is listening. I'm sure the executives, they are listening. Even before our resolution comes out, we've noticed the body language of the executive. And today I started by reading the letter from Mr. President, which has answered most of our deliberations. And if there are more for him to look at, the executive, we are sure by the time the resolution is out, they will all be taken care of. Let me also announce, so that you can tell others, that there'll be another level of this engagement at the villa with the First Lady tomorrow. We'll continue this engagement, but at a different level, to deepen the conversation, to deep dive the more. It will be happening at the villa by 6 o'clock. We are advised to come by 5, banquet hall tomorrow. So that as a parliamentarian that the First Lady is or was, we'll be able to also pick her brain, and she will pick all ours with regards to supporting the various policies that will help us achieve this national objective, which is paramount and on the front burner of our agenda as a parliament. Having said that, I want to ask that the leader move that we adjourn this sitting till next week, Tuesday. We are going to continue another set of debates next week, but this time it's going to be on the Constitution. We will confirm to you before that Tuesday if we are taking Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to debate on the Constitution, because we are looking at the upper week to be when we will vote on the Constitution, which is about the 10th of December, before we wind down this section. But communications will go, but prepare yourself for debate next week on the Constitution amendment, the review program that we've been going through, because we have finished our work at the committee level just to present it to the House and then debate on it. Having said that, leader of leaders, the floor is yours. I'm sure you'll be looking forward to this time, and I want to thank you for being here till now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We appreciate your leadership and control and management of the conversations and engagements. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do adjourn plenary to Tuesday next week, 11 a.m. at the same venue. I so move.
Minority Leader, if you want us to go after 5 hours, tell us. If you don't want us to go, tell us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. I wish we could stay longer because of the importance of the issue we have been debating on. Sincerely, I wish we could stay, but there's always an end to everything. So I will second the motion by the House Leader that we adjourn for this week and continue on Tuesday next week. I so second.
Thank you very much. Motion has been moved because we've been sitting for 5 hours, and it's not also healthy to stay longer, even though the Minority Leader wished for us to go ahead because of the subject matter we are discussing. But health and safety principles says you should not sit down in one place for up to these 4 or 5 hours we have done. So having seconded this motion that the House be adjourned, I ask the question, those in support that the House be adjourned till Tuesday, same time, same place, say aye. Those against say nay.
Nay.
The ayes this time will have it. The House is hereby adjourned till Tuesday next week, same time, same place. And thank you for your cooperation. God bless you.
Eh?
Take it down, take it down, take it down, take it down. Just take it down. Now sunlight you dey see for that side. That's sunlight, sunlight. Take it down. Press it again multiple times. Press it again multiple times. Press it again multiple times.
The party don't start now. Don't listen for you. I react to something. I react to something.
Sorry. Nothing is up.
Nothing aside to that. We go just.
Are you feeling dizzy?
I'm actually feeling dizzy, sha. From my throat.
Okay. I don't know if I think at the weather.
You like one lump or something there inside.
Now weather. Just try and take who's saying okay told me. No, yeah, told me.
I think I lack vitamin C.
You need vitamin C.
Yeah. Oh. Yo, I need that shoe.
But yeah, so
Favor.
send your 22K now.
Not 21.
21.
21. Yeah. I will shoot by this David.
Just lock up.
Maybe lock up. I give her a shop stores, but lock up.
Don't you go? Is there for cats there?
And that is fucking cheap.
It's cheap.
Sincerely, let's be frank. I feel if I send 15, how much will it?
If you send 15, you will remain 6 something. 6,000 something. Saturday. Send out to my.
Don't worry, you go put your details here. Don't tell me like I send out. I don't think you should know how to open my account. Don't go send 2 billion. Make them call use police pick me up. Come, you did a transaction for organic cafe. Come here. Sit here, sit close. Oh. You did 7.6 billion. Come close. Where did you get that money from? You know, say when
Like I was typing my account.
now the app, now the first one, they are useless. Once don't reach this time, I say you are they serious?
They will just do like this.
They will do like this so that you will be frustrated.
But you both when sabi dance, I think of it.
Papa, I want buy one Chelsea boot. Chelsea shoe, like the thing cheap die. Chelsea football shoe.
See, when no sabi dance, I think of it.
The thing cheap die. I say, are they serious? The actual price of the shoe is how much?
150.
150K. Yes. And they sell her for 21,000. Shock you, man. For where would you sell her? Temu.
I don't know why.
No, the last of it that making me think if I should send the money. I don't know you guys are talking.
You're very with
I deal with all of them. I deal with you. I deal with
you. You're talking to me laugh. That echo back. There is no reaction. If I pause first, that break at I think about
get them. People don't know what they go on now.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullah.
Me kake so? Me yasa? Sorry. My people with the matter.
Now go with the agenda.
Now to bani to nuna mu.
I need to go back to my dream world.
Sai ka gani. Kuma ya goge a yanzu. Gaba ɗaya ne. Ba ka lati ba su tafi su baka ba. Ban sha ma. 4 da minti 20 mun ita. Wannan har zai wuce minti 5. Wannan wanda kai recording din shi na karshen a kuma da gina. Kai tafiya ta tafiya ta ba zan iya da asuba kawai na tashi ta zan yi kuma da dare na jin na ga gidan garin kuma ga wala ina son ga kai na dan farin nan sai da all my junior wallahi you know go see am you don't find very well you no get only one see am you no go see am even that one sef you go dey guide am as if na good wetin you wan see am for zauna ga kujera na waka what if I white there by all means kasa spray bana excuse me wait excuse me wait excuse me kuma ba kasa spray ba dan wana ne mana ba musulmi bane na CV kasa spray kawai in lokacin shi zai zo to kamar shi bara kasa spray da so wanga kai na dan yi farin nan David nan ya kamata ya kare ai assalamu alaikum Allah kuskure ne wannan ko da ni ake sa kira sai na san cewa ai ban saba ganin waka bane to ya gaji ya hidima ya gai alhamdulillah jama'a wallahi alhamdulillah to wallahi ana sayarwa ina sana amma ni dai bana Kaduna ka sani sai dai in tambayin maka ba na baka nan manta ba kwanaki na tura ma nan manta mana to shi kenan zan tura ma nan one hour 40 minutes 43 1 hour 43 minutes You don't get a number. You go out office do work. Sure. This one. You want the sugar? You want your sugar money? Is she married? Is she married? I don't know. Is she married? In her office you see now. I don't know. You want this one? Why is it? You feel cut in between. That's cut in part. Okay, yeah, you did the last time. I won't make you cut up the part when they mention other people name. You know, if you then you another person.
Okay, Blas, as you mentioned those names, I already project her already.
Ding, 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 ding. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. My only sunshine, you make me happy. Love you, you don't take my sunshine away. Benita, I believe I will lie you have to spell IGBENI Dion DION. Okay, so that's it. How could that be? IGBINIDEON. Yeah, BINIDEON. As in, I try. Where E I change that to I, where I did I change that to E. No, if you drink water, drop cup.
Through our resolution that after diagnosing what is happening here, we prescribe what will bring the healing that the nation needs. Nigeria is a great country.
Shall we?
Let nobody deceive you.
It does not come.
Nigeria is a mighty country and we have not fallen. The next to speak is Honorable Jafaru Leko, while Honorable Canadian gets ready. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, respected colleagues. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues,